everybody, it's Bunny, and who's ready to watch me make a total mess? Today's video is going to be a Pintertest challenge, except for I did not see this suggestion or come across this idea on Pinterest. Many of you guys left this as a suggestion on my Facebook page after I just swatched and reviewed the world's most magical and I think currently the world's only rainbow highlighter. There have been a couple of people who have tried to DIY this themselves, recreate it, and a lot of you guys were asking me to see if I could do a DIY. Now, the first thing I will say is this is definitely not going to be a cheaper alternative DIY. Maybe it could be. It was not that way for me. It was definitely probably at least $20 more expensive than the actual product, which was only $22. So here is the array of crazy tools that we have going on today. The first thing that you're going to need is a highlighter that you can utterly destroy. So I found this really beautiful one from Physicians Formula. Then you are also going to need a bunch of rainbow eyeshadows. I got this new Vivid NYX Ultimates. I'm not exactly sure what this palette is called. And this is probably the only palette that you would really need to create this, but this palette alone is $18.99 and we're about to crush it to pieces. So I'm sorry in advance if this is going to disturb anybody. Also, I have some coffee filters, and this is what I'm going to be crushing up the eyeshadows and highlighters in. And because I'm an extreme sort of person, I've got a meat basher to crush up the eyeshadows very finely. You probably also need a knife of some sort. You're also going to need alcohol. I got 91% alcohol because it will dry and set the fastest the higher percent of alcohol that you get. I also have a spritzing bottle just in case I need it. And I got this from the pharmacy at Target. It's sort of like an eyedropper. They gave it to me for free. I thought that this would also be a good tool for dispensing alcohol onto the eyeshadows. And just to keep the area clean, I have laid down some parchment paper. So let's get sassy. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is be extremely destructive. We are going to break up this highlighter first because this is your base ingredient for all of the other pigment shades. And now I'm going to take my little meat masher here and just crush it up. You just want to hit it until you get a fine, super fine dust, like so. Now we are basically going to do the same exact thing we just did, except for now we are going to be digging out and separating the eyeshadows into different coffee filters, or you could use baking cups for like cupcakes or muffins. Now I have all of the different colors separated: red, pink, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. It's time to move on to the next step, which is going through and adding the highlighter shade to each of the different rainbow shades of pigment. I knew we were gonna need a spoon, so that is what I'm doing now, is just dispersing. And I'm starting out with just a little bit, you know, so that I don't run out of highlighter. And I'm just adding that to each one of the rainbow colors. So I'm gonna try and just put a little bit of the rubbing alcohol in a spoon, and I'm spilling it everywhere. I'm gonna try and just suck up a little bit with that eyedropper tool that I showed you guys I got from Target. So I'm gonna just try and suck up a little bit of that. And you're just going to want to add a little bit of the rubbing alcohol at a time, so you can make kind of a paste. And that is what we are going to be loading into our highlighter container. And my goodness, I hope that this is gonna work. It doesn't look very promising right now, but we shall see. You're going to want to scrape up the pigment paste and just load it in, you know, going from left to right, just mashing that in place. And, you know, this is kind of my first try at this. I'm not sure if it's going to come out perfect, but we are trying. So now I'm just going to go right on down the row, adding in the pink, yellow, green, and, you know, all the other colors of the rainbow. But I'm just going through and doing that exact same thing over and over again. I cannot even begin to describe what a horrendous mess that you are going to make by attempting to DIY this yourself. I at least have all of the colors in the pan, and I feel like this is going to be so incredibly, ridiculously pigmented. But I'm going to try and wet the product down a little bit more, just adding alcohol to kind of wet down the whole mixture. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges, is to get it wet enough to make a paste, but also not too wet, because then if it's too wet, it won't stick down into the palette. To try and press it down evenly, I am using the bottom of a Tarte blush pan that is way past its prime. I'm going to wrap that up with a paper towel, and I'm just going to try and lightly press and apply even pressure. And this is just trying to make it nice and smooth and not so messy looking, and to absorb a little bit of the extra alcohol moisture. Now it is just the waiting game. You are supposed to let it sit open and air dry for 24 hours to make sure everything is nice and dry before you use it. So it won't be until tomorrow until we get to find out if this actually worked or not. It is a humongous mess, and I will just say mine looks nothing like the original. It has now been 24 hours, so the beautiful rainbow highlighter that I made yesterday is now all set and dry and ready to be swatched and used. Now I'm going to just do some swatches. I'm just gonna see what we kind of get by just running our finger over it. Looks kind of promising. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna just swatch it on my hand. And I mean, there's definitely some rainbow qualities there. That is pretty much the whole spectrum, and it does look pretty rainbowy. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pick up just a little bit more of the reddy pink kind of section. Ta-da! That looks pretty impressive, I'm not gonna lie. I'm going to swatch the original and we'll kind of see what we're dealing with here. The original Bitter Lace Beauty one is definitely more of a highlighter. It looks so much different than mine. It's more iridescent. I mean, they definitely have two complete different looks to them. I don't feel like it would be very easy to make an exact homemade dupe, but at least if you want to try, if you can't get your hands on this, because I think it's still sold out. If you can't get your hands on it and you would like to just make, I saw so many of you guys commenting last time that y'all would wear this to different festivals and events. So if you're in a pinch and you really want the rainbow effect, I think you can definitely create that at home, but maybe I just used the wrong highlighter, honestly. This one is just absolutely magical. I really don't feel like there's any exact replication possible. It's just so iridescent and definitely is like a true highlighter, and mine is much more pigmented because it's flippin' eyeshadow that I just crushed up. Let's go ahead and do a brush test and see if this looks cool or pretty on a makeup brush. The first brush I'm going to attempt is my Sigma large angle contour brush. And this one is actually like a little bit stained from all the contouring I've been doing. Ooh, just with one pass on that brush, it looks pretty, right? Let's just go ahead and do a couple more passes. That is pretty impressive. Ooh, that's a little bit more effective of an application method. Actually, when you apply it like that, it does change it to be, oh my gosh, so much fallout. It makes it far less pigmented and severe, and I feel like that makes it look a little bit softer and more like the original product. Okay, you guys, I feel like it is the final test, which is how does this look on my face? And I forgot when I did my makeup today to not put on any highlighter or blush or bronzer, like when I did when I tested out the original rainbow highlighter. I'm sure I've also referred to this as an eyeshadow and a blush all throughout this video, just like I did when I reviewed the real one. It's kind of confusing. It's made out of eyeshadow, it's kind of colored like a blush, yet it is a highlighter. What's going on here? It could be anything you want. I mean, technically, I feel like you could just do like one finger at a time and use it like eyeshadow, or you could wear it like blush. Just the world is your oyster, okay? You can do whatever you want as long as you're not hurting yourself or someone else. I am going to go ahead and try and apply this product with the brush first because I think that that's the way to go with this one. Let's just go ahead and do one pass. And I feel like, honestly, maybe it's just because I am wearing other highlighter today. I don't know. Can you guys see a rainbow going on? Not really. Maybe very, very faintly, right? Like just like a hint that something different may be going on. I'm gonna try and grab a little bit more of the product. The fallout is insane. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys know that in case you can't see the dust everywhere floating in my general area. Okay, I definitely feel like doing a couple more passes and grabbing a lot more product. Now you can kind of tell something is going on, but honestly, it looks a little bit more like a bruise from far away. Very bruisey, not very rainbowy, right? Once again, I feel like this is kind of like a product that when seen in different lightings or when you tilt your head, I feel like I'm trying to do a really lame robot right now. But I feel like once again, when you kind of like move in a different way, you know, it looks different. So I know that this is going to be totally silly, but we're gonna do it anyway because we did it in the original video, so we might as well test this one like that. I am going to go ahead and just try and place one color at a time. That is so extreme. But here we go, you guys. Pretty extreme, yeah? But you can definitely see a rainbow on this side of my face. And I don't know, you guys. I mean, I feel like it kind of looks like a rainbow, or am I just really wanting a rainbow to be there? I'm going to try and just soften up what I applied. I mean, I feel like if you were going to a festival or something and you wanted it to be like really noticeably rainbow, then maybe you wouldn't mind this, you know, because you're trying to make it look very rainbowy. But I definitely don't think that this is passable for day-to-day wear like the other one is. I'm gonna try and use that brush and see if I can just blend it out just a little bit. I honestly feel like once I'm doing that, this side does kind of look less bruisey. Maybe I should have put less blue in there. That is the good thing about custom making your own rainbow highlighter though, is like you can leave out the colors that you wouldn't necessarily want. Like if you don't want red, if you don't want blue, you know what I'm saying? And you can still get that kind of like multi-colored effect, but you can leave out certain colors that you don't feel are complementary to your particular skin tone. My camera just shut itself off. It's overheating. It's had enough. But I was just like walking around our house looking in other mirrors and stuff, and definitely when you look at it in person, it is not as bruisey and weird looking as it is probably appearing on camera. Overall, I think that this is a really fun and easy DIY. It is expensive if you don't already kind of have products that you want to crush up, or if you can't find really cheap rainbow eyeshadows or pigments. But kind of if you already have that stuff laying around, maybe you already have a busted highlighter, you know, the rest of the supplies and stuff, it is pretty inexpensive. And if it's not a product you're gonna wear a ton, or once again, you can't get it because it keeps selling out, maybe this is a good alternative for you. I do feel like it's fun. I do feel like it looks all right. It looks better than I thought it was going to look yesterday when I got done making it. I'm pretty excited. I'm gonna pat myself on the back just a little bit. Also, I just found my pirate ring, so I'm pretty excited. That is it for me today. Thank you guys so much, everybody who requested this. I'm gonna try and bring back DIYs and Pintertests for the summertime. So get excited if you like these types of videos. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, for watching, and for being here. If you're not already and you'd like to be, hit that button down below, subscribe, become a member of the Swamp Family, and give an alligator its wings. Also, if you want, you can like me on Facebook, facebook.com/graveyardgirl, or you can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, or Instagram at Graveyard Girl. Same way it's spelled here. I love you guys so much, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Bye!